Bastards of Oblivion, Episode 10, The Clones of Baby Hitler, Chapter 7. I awoke with a start to hear such a clatter that I went to the window to see what was the matter. The clock said 0750 hours. I hadn't even been asleep for a minute. There's a knock at the door. It's old What's-His-Name. He tells me to hurry up and get in the Jeep.
Come on, man.
It's a classic Jeep, like on MASH, with a roll bar and a canvas roof and everything. It even has plastic windows that zip up in case it rains. I used to drive this Jeep. Anyway, it's his turn to drive the Jeep now, so I get in and shut the door.
All right, Trinity, we ain't got time to fuck around, see?
His eyes told me he was terrified. He also knew who I was, but I had no idea who he was.
Why not, man?
I said.
'Cause we gotta get out of this place. If it's the last thing we ever do.
I pushed his arm away and reached over and turned the switch. It's not a key, it's a switch. The Jeep lurches forward. He gives me the hairy eyeball and starts the Jeep properly. He takes off with a lurch, grinding the gears. He swerves to miss a space monkey. I'm surprised he swerved. Agents in training are encouraged to eliminate space monkeys because they are considered a common psychic pest. Besides, it earns you brownie points, while at the same time strengthening your cosmic awareness of Dharma and Karma. If you are gifted with clairaudience, eliminating a space monkey is often accompanied by a cash register sound.
Hey, pay attention, man. You're gonna get us all killed.
He was driving like a
I know
maniac.
you're one of them, man. I've seen you. It's real, and you are my proof.
His eyes are wild and he's slobbering a little bit.
What the fuck are you talking about, man?
We were forced to stop at the gate where there was actually an Abrams tank on the other side of the gate with a barrel pointed at the level that it would take to shoot a car at about 60 feet from the muzzle. That's not very far. That would hurt, if you felt it. The shore patrol was at the gate, along with some MPs and a few guys in black suits. Petty Officer Jack in the box turns off the Jeep and proceeds to try and unzip the plastic window. He's very shaky and he's making me nervous.
God damn, what the come
I
on.
get out of the Jeep.
What's going on?
I ask. The jackass who drove me here is still struggling with the window
What
on
the
the Jeep.
fuck?
Finally, he gives up and just opens the door and gets out. The damn siren keeps whining and traffic is backing up behind us. Apparently, old dumb fuck knew something before anybody else did, and for some reason, he grabbed me. He pulled out a pistol and he pointed it at me. I dropped down behind the Jeep and he fired the gun. 3 shore patrolmen and 2 MPs pulled their firearms on him and fired. I could see the plastic window and a bullet buzzed past my head. He sort of danced like a marionette as each pistol and rifle was fired. It was very gruesome. Then they turned and pointed their guns at me. I dropped to my knees and I put my hands over my head. The guys in the black suits had disappeared, and I'd forgot about them until I went back and edited the script. One of them looked very familiar. The guards all looked at each other. They shrugged their shoulders and lowered their weapons. One of the shore patrol gestured with his pistol in a manner that told me it was cool, and I could get up off my knees, and he put his gun away and started talking into a walkie-talkie radio as he walked into the guard shack. I brushed off the rocks on my knees. I was bleeding a little bit. I laughed because these were the only Cracker Jacks I had at the minute, but the chaos was so bizarre that damaged pants seemed pretty trivial. I took off my Dixie cup and I looked at it. There was a frayed spot where the bullet had barely grazed the brim. Anyway, the soldier comes back out of the guard shack. He has a bullhorn and a clipboard.
All the phones are down. All electricity has been shut off. This facility is officially under lockdown and all personnel are confined to quarters until further notice by order of high command. And other stuff. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah.
And everybody started yelling and ran away home. It was very stressful. Well, not everybody left and not right away, but you get the picture. A couple of medics and a corpsman just happened to be handy and the dead maniac was escorted to the morgue. I crossed myself because I'd seen my Catholic friends do it and I thought it was sort of cool. I heard the squawk of a radio inside the guardhouse and a Marine runs out and runs up to me.
You look just the same as you do here as you do there.
I knew he was talking about the ionosphere, but I didn't recognize.
Dude,
He grabs my arm.
What's with all the grabbing and yanking today?
I say.
dude.
He leads me inside the guard shack. The Marine is very excited. With a large grin, he smiles at me and says,
You are not going to believe this, but it's real.
but my gut tells me this is disclosure, but I play stupid.
Of course it is. But what is it?
The aliens, man.
His eyes are wide with excitement.
And the ionosphere.
I still didn't recognize him, but it was clear he recognized me. And this is why.
Okay, class. Pay attention. We have a special guest here. It's the narrator of the show, okay? Now, pay attention. Alright, come on, sit up straight, Billy. Pay attention. And Sally, come on. Alright, that's enough.
In the ionosphere, you are you. You are more you than you are you during waking hours, even when you are being the best you. See? This is because your flesh body is constantly programmed with tactile sensory input day and night, your entire life, and this is being recorded in your brain. Your body is a robot, and the brain is your computer. You are the intelligence which it carries. In the ionosphere, you are the real you, good or bad. This translates in the mundane world as you are a product of your environment, more or less, with very few exceptions. That is why we are all here at Onironaut School. We are here to fix the errors posed upon us. On the surface, the post is a school for special maneuvers operations and a culinary school. Most of us know why we are here, but a few are still figuring it out. This has its amusing qualities. It also has its setbacks. Anyway, honesty is a trait. I will not say that I will never lie to you because that would be a lie. If I do tell a lie, it's really probably just bullshit. And there's a difference between bullshit and a lie. Anyway, all the little things which you do that are known as bad or sinful or whatever, they taint your spirit so that waking mundane world you may be the coolest boss on earth, but your soul is revealed in the ionosphere so you might look completely different according to your particular sin. People that are attracted to the macabre refer to this other you as shadow, but this is gaslight from Dark Sun via Carl Jung and Sigmund Freud. What I'm trying to get at is I was recognized as I'm relatively honest enough. Wow. Okay. Whatever.
The aliens, man?
I asked. I could smell baby powder and cigarettes. I turned around. There she was. My heart jumped. My angel was the centerfold. Admiral Chick, stood before me. And let me tell you, she can definitely make a man stand at attention, if you know what I mean. I stood at attention and saluted. I accidentally clicked my heels. This made her smile, and I noticed her eyebrows had grown back. She smiled for a second and then scowled. God help me. Her blue eyes were like shards of glass when you wake up with a hangover and accidentally step on the broken beer bottle at 3:34 in the morning.
Airman.
Her voice was raspy, like a choir of angels choking on smog. It was like silk being scraped on a rusty wood rasp, like my grandpa had back when I was a kid on the ranch before my first abduction. That thought was weird, and I realized I had just given a boost to my security clearance. I swear to God, she was digging me, for reals, man. It's all according to how your boogaloo situation stands, you understand. And she returned my salute.
Relax, sailor. Have a cup of coffee.
She turned back to the window, and I averted my eyes, and I bit my lip. I went over to the coffee machine. It was empty, and I felt really, really stupid and awkward.
What's going on?
I asked. The Marine looks at me and shrugs his shoulder.
I'm not saying it's aliens, but
He points outside. The sky is overcast and gray. The clouds are heavy and punctured with holes. Perfect, round holes. I count a grid pattern, 10 by 10, so there are 100 holes in the clouds at least. I can see the blue sky beyond the holes in the clouds. From where I stood, I estimate each hole to have been the radius of a Nimitz-class carrier.
What the?
This is so bizarre. The Marine walks over to me.
I honestly thought that you of all people would know what's going on.
I looked at him. I looked at her. I looked at the floor. I see a piece of paper and I pick it up and throw it in the trash. This makes me think of the note in my sea bag, and the Admiral turns swiftly and stares at me. I know she knows exactly what I thought of. Magic is sort of cool sometimes.
Where is it, Airman?
She was like a golden Betty Page, and I wanted to be dominated. I cowered a bit.
It's in my sea bag.
I tried not to look at her unauthorized cleavage. The electricity was off and it was getting hot, and she was sweating. She took a deep breath for my benefit, and I was grateful. She smiled at me.
Your wish is my
And
command.
I started to turn.
Excuse me?
I was frozen. It felt like a bunch of tiny kittens were crawling on my neck and purring in my ear. I stopped and said,
Yes, sir.
Then I saluted again. She glowered at me and I melted. She took another deep breath and rolled her eyes and turned away.
Oh God, please help
She
us.
muttered. I went outside, got in a Jeep, and I left for my quarters. Just for good luck, I said,
Hail Mary, full of grace, help me have some self-control.
because my desire for the Admiral was inconvenient, to say the least. I swear I heard the Admiral's voice in my head.
Oh God, please help us.
The Jeep that old Jumpin' Jack Flash had stolen was still running. I opened the blood-covered door and I counted 12 bullet holes. As I drove off, the passenger door flopped open and then slammed shut. The Jeep was almost out of gas, and the place had become extremely quiet really fast. No one was anywhere to be seen. I didn't have to go that far anyway. I was there in 2 minutes flat. I ran into the dorm and I opened my door. I never locked it. Anyway, I found my sea bag and I opened the flap and I reached down to that little pocket inside which no one can allegedly know about. I retrieved the paper wrapped in the soggy saran wrap. It still smelled like tuna fish. I can see the paper in the plastic. It's become sort of rainbow colored, like an oil slick or something. I stuff it in an empty cigarette pack. I only smoked a box. The soft packs get crushed too easily. I tried to put it in my shirt pocket, but Cracker Jack pockets are worthless. So I took it back out of the cigarette pack, and I vow to quit someday. It goes in the little pocket which nothing can fit into in the front of the pants. I can smell raid. I know that maintenance has been here. I also notice that there is no electricity. I pick up the room phone, and the line is dead. I grab the newspaper I had read earlier, and it just sort of poofed into nothing. I hate it when it happens, but you kind of get used to it after a while. I run out the door and...
Oh God, please help us.